This is what we're trying to do is start up a nonprofit organization for the public to give information on everything that's happening now, especially with all the crazy stuff. And the name is AAWP for American Association of Wealth Preservation. Each month we're going to have a speaker come in. Today it's going to be debt settlements and credit repair, so that every month you have something new that information people need these days to survive what's happening and everything. My name's Victor Burgess. I started BBC Financial Group, and over the last 9 years what I ended up having is I mostly work with retired people and seniors, and there's always things they need that I can't do or provide. So I started building a network, lawyers, attorneys, other professionals, and I started calling them strategic partners. And then I decided this year that it'd be nice, especially after the 2008-2009 debacle, to come up with a way to bring this stuff to the public. So we decided to sponsor AAWP, and that's how that got started, because the big thing now is it's not what you know, it's who you know. But basically, 10 to 10:30 is what we're waiting for. It was the registration stuff. Introductions is what we're going to do now. Then we're going to have the topic of the day. And then normally, as this builds, what we plan to have is most of our strategic partners, we're trying to have 8 to 10 of them would be here. So at the end of the last hour, it's time for you to meet, talk, socialize, get to know the lawyers, attorneys, professionals like that, so that any time later in your life, if something comes up, you actually know somebody you can go to and trust, and you start building relationships. It's all about networking and building networks, and that's what we're trying to make this association be. I wanted to thank, for BBC Financial members, Terry Bond, but they've been working really hard to help launch this American Association. Now for the association, we're still trying to build. We're looking for members. We're looking for board members, people to help us with the organization, get the word out and stuff. Right now we have Felix Trejo here, and Yen's in the back, and it looks like Eliza didn't make it in yet. But right now they're on the board right now trying to get this thing launched. And then of course Paul over here, he's bringing us to YouTube. So actually if you go to YouTube and go to AAWP and type in, or go to YouTube and type AAWP, some videos and stuff come up from the last meeting. This is going to be our caricature, which we're going to call Professor Who You Know, because it's who you know, not what you know. And so we're going to be using them to advertise and market for the strategic partnering, how to get the word out. Basically the thing is, like if you had tax issues, right, wouldn't it be great if you had a tax expert as a friend or somebody in your network, right? If you had issues with investments, a financial expert. If you wanted to incorporate a business or had deals where you needed to know an attorney, wouldn't it be nice if you had a network of attorneys with different specialties, right? And that's what we're really trying to talk to you. All of a sudden you need to sell your house, buy your house. You know realtors, right? And that's what we're talking about, building a network, right? Everybody heard of these guys? It's a little small organization, AARP.
Yeah.
They started out small too, right? Organization, this is for basically retired people, 50 plus, right? So we're going to do AAWP, which is wealth preservation, okay? And this is why. I don't know if you guys have been tracking this, but if you go back and you look at the spending in this country, before it was under control more or less. We got in here to about the time of Reagan, and it started escalating considerably. And we're not talking about billions anymore, we're talking about trillions. Okay? Now this is not a problem in reality. The problem is if we can't pay for it. And if you look at here, this line here, for the most part, was being paid for. As long as we're at this line, we're paying for it. We go above the line, we're no longer paying for it. We go below the line, then we have a surplus. And you can see right here, it's just kind of gotten crazy. Before, we were well under $500 billion for our debt. And now we're into trillions of dollars in our debt. So that's going to create huge problems for us. Yes?
There's on the internet, it's called a U.S. debt clock.
That's where this is from.
Is that what's from? Yeah, yeah. Oh,
U.S. debt clock.
Unbelievable.
If you want to be scared to death,
yeah,
but get accurate data, go to U.S. debt clock. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But anyway, on the U.S. debt clock, if you look up, every man, woman, child, baby born today, everybody living in this country today, in order to cover this, we each owe $354,848 as of August 16th. Okay? So that number's going up every day. So what does that mean? skyrocketing taxes. Everything we do is going to go up. So our income taxes are going to be going up. Gas, food, everything. Anything type, anything's going to be going up. Inflation, interest rates, sales, taxes, fines, fees. Have you noticed that if you get pulled over by a car, you might have stopped our car for moving violation lately, you notice how the fines have like tripled? How about cell phone? Remember it was supposed to be $50 first time, now it's like 200 bucks. They're getting the money from somewhere, and it's going to be from everywhere, okay? And so we have to know, we have to build our network of people so we know who we can go to get the latest things that are happening. So it's all heading our way. So we have to cut all our taxes, we have to cut all our costs, we have to reduce or stop losses, you know, in our investments and everything we're doing, okay? Now, I made this slide, first time I made this slide here was April 10th of this year, okay? And this is information from the debt clock. On August 16th, I updated it, and it's a usdebtclock.org, all right, .org, not .com. But if you go on there, you can get all this data. But Social Security system, I say it's bankrupt this year. A lot of talking heads on TV say it's bankrupt this year. Some of them are saying, no, it's not yet. When I started doing seminars like 2006, at 2006, we're still talking about maybe 2017 it'll be bankrupt. If you go to the debt clock and you can do a simple calculation, it's just from April to August, we went from $12 trillion in debt to 14.5. That's another $2.5 trillion in just 5 months. Okay? If you go in there, you can look at, take the population of workers or our workforce divided by our retired people. We have 3.6 people working that we're taxing for benefits for every one person retired. If you go to another website for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you find out what the average income is. By the time you tax them at the 6.2% for Social Security, that means they're collecting about $584 a month for that one retired person. I don't know if you know anybody who's retired now, but normally they're not getting paid only $500 a month. So we're already putting out more than we're bringing in. And that's why I say it's bankrupt. If you look at Medicare bankruptcy, they're talking about 2019. 75 trillion in April, 76.31 by August. Okay. If you look at, we spent over $3.5 trillion, and if you just look at this year, April this year, $945 billion. By August 16th, $2.2 trillion. This is just out of control. It's absolutely crazy. Okay. Foreclosures. April, 249,000. By August, 631,000 new foreclosures. Okay. Bankruptcies, 388,000 in April, 1 million by August. It's absolutely out of control, and they're going to be coming to get that money from us. Okay. What destroys wealth? Income taxes, estate taxes, capital gains taxes, interest on debt. Anybody notice that the interest rates on your credit cards and everything are going up and your limits are going down? Inflation, which is our buying power, low rate of return on our investments, risk of principal. R&Ds are required minimum distributions on your IRAs. If you look at what builds wealth, tax advantaged investing, tax managed investments, tax deferral with 1035 exchanges, real estate, 1031 exchanges, advanced estate planning. And next month we have a advanced estate planning attorney coming in. Incorporating and life insurance, high rates of return on investments. You can't afford to lose any investment capital now. You have to be careful what you're doing. Roth IRAs and annuitization processes. These are all things that we're going to have to start incorporating in what we're doing to stay ahead of what's coming. Got to learn how to play the game now more than ever before. Okay, you got to be able to pay only what you owe. Reduce and eliminate all that you legally can. A lot of time in the past, people in different industries were playing in the gray, or what I call playing in the gray. In other words, the IRS hasn't really made a ruling on something, and it's like the standard practice. But then when they come in and rule, it could go against you. No more operating in the gray. The IRS is really ramping up who they have, the resources they have to come after. So you have to make sure whatever you're doing tax planning wise is legit. Maximize your strategies and incorporations when applicable. Supercharge your retirements and benefits when you're qualified to do so. And like Rockefeller used to say, control everything and own nothing. Okay. Anybody met my uncle? Yeah? When you earn it, what does he do? He taxes it, spend it, taxes it, save it, taxes it.